Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. Today I have 3 tower block DIYs, and at the end of the video I'm going to show you how you can use the pieces from each DIY and put them together to make 2 more DIYs. You need 104 blocks for this DIY, which is 2 boxes and some wood glue. For the end pieces I'm gluing 4 tower blocks end to end, and then in the middle there is 5 rows of tower blocks and they are 12 tower blocks high, and I like to fit it all together before I glue it all to make sure it's all going to fit nicely. And it's not going to fit perfect, but you can get it as good as you can with these tower blocks because none of them are the same size. So don't worry too much if they're not perfect. It's still going to look good in the end. Now you can always sand down the edges and stuff if you want to. So I'm just making an easy tray for this first DIY, but I'm going to use this tray in the next DIY, and then at the end I'm going to show you that you can put it together with third DIY, if that makes sense. Now I'm gluing together 4 tower blocks high and then 5 tower blocks across, and I'm going to make 2 of these. And once they're dry, I am going to glue them together. And then I am going to glue geometric beads all the way around this. And for everything that I made in the video, I used 400 of the geometric beads, which is a whole pack. You get 300 in a pack, and then I use another 100. But you don't have to use that many because you're probably not going to make all these DIYs. So you can just pick whichever one you want to make, and then I'm going to tell you how many beads that you'll need for it. Maybe you could use the round beads. I don't know, I've never tried. And these are like the tower blocks. They're not all made the same size. So I did have to leave a tiny wee gap in between each one to make sure that they fit all the way around. And now I am just adding some more glue. And as you can see, I have all the holes facing up the way. So just applying glue to them all, and then I will attach it to the other piece. And the other piece I did turn upside down there, and then I'm putting this on top. And now I am just going to glue some tower blocks on the bottom. If you're just making the tray, you could just use some half beads, but I want this to fit inside the next DIY. And you have to make sure where you place these tower blocks that it's going to fit inside, because it's going to be a lid. And then I stained it with the special walnut wood stain, and this is how it turned out. And don't forget to wipe off all your glue properly, because you can see that I didn't. Just don't DIY at 2 in the morning when you're tired. For this DIY you need to make 2 of the trays that I just made, and you need 406 blocks altogether, so that's 6 boxes and 150 geometric beads and some wood glue. So I'm just gluing together 16 tower blocks, but the end ones are standing on their side and the middle ones are flat. And I made 2 of these. And this is 2 sets of 11 with the end tower blocks standing on their side and the middle ones flat. And I already made one of those trays, so I am just gluing these pieces on the sides. And make sure you rub away your wood glue better than I did. But if you paint it, then it doesn't really matter. But if you're staining it, then make sure you wipe it away properly. I'm just gluing the end pieces on now. So I'm just gluing 3 of the geometric beads in each corner and have all the holes facing up the way. I'm just taking a paintbrush to get rid of any excess glue. So that's what it looks like. So if you wanted to just make this a tray like this, then you could put the half bead on top. But because I'm going to be putting the tray from the first DIY on top of this, I'm filling in these holes with some wood filler. And then once it's dry, I just took my finger sander and sanded it down. This piece is the bottom of my jewellery box trinket tray, and then the tray that I made first is going to fit on top of this piece. So I'm just gluing some half beads on the bottom, and now I am going to make the lid. So I'm gluing together 5 tower blocks across the bottom, and then 5 tower blocks across the top, and then 3 rows of 15 tower blocks in the middle. I know this DIY uses a lot of blocks, but it would make a nice present, Christmas present or a birthday present for someone. I'm just staining mine, but you could paint these any colour you like. You could even do 2 different stains, or just paint the beads or leave the beads unfinished. It's up to you what you like. I'm making 2 L shapes that are facing this way, and then 2 L shapes that are facing the other way. And then I'm going to put them together like this to make a rectangle. And then I am going to measure and cut down a tower block to fit in between each of these pieces. I'm just sanding down any rough edges. And then I'm just gluing those pieces in place. And then I turned it over, and then I am just going to fit these geometric beads all the way around. And then I have to leave a wee gap in between them all just to space them out and make sure they fit all the way across. And then I glued them all down. I don't think I show you me doing them all. And then when it was dry, I'm just put some glue on the other side. And then I turned over that other piece that I made, and then I am going to glue that on top. And just get rid of any excess glue. And now I am gluing in some more tower blocks on the inside of that, because I need the geometric beads to be raised up so they are level with the piece that I just glued on. And I used 2 of the little pieces that I cut off as well, used them up. So I already glued down a row of geometric beads, and now I am just gluing in some tower blocks on their side. And then I have to measure a tower block to go in, fill in those gaps. And then I just glue those pieces in place. And then I glued the geometric beads in the middle, and I put them all in there first just to make sure that they would all fit. And this one did not want to go in. So when you take them out, you have to make sure you put them back in the same way as when you did the dry fit. I'm putting 2 tower blocks in each corner lying flat, and then the next ones on top or on their side. Then I'm going to glue those ones together and then put some glue on the top, because I want them to stick to the part that's at the side that I'm going to stick on top right now. I don't want them to stick to the piece that they're sitting in, just to make sure the lid's going to fit properly. And then I stained everything with some special walnut wood stain, and then this is it all together with the other tray and the lid. And I'm going to show you what it looks like when you take the different parts off. So this is it's got 2 different compartments, so you can put different things in each of them, like different maybe earrings in one and necklaces or whatever you want to put in it. And then this is just without the lid on, and then this is without the tray on. You could just make it with just the tray on the top and not the lid if you wanted to. for this DIY you need 154 blocks, which is 3 boxes, and some wood glue. So I'm going to glue together 5 tower blocks across and 10 tower blocks high. And then I glued a layer of geometric beads all around the outside. I made sure I spaced them apart. I have 4 tower blocks along the top and the bottom and 2 on each side, and then I am going to cut down a tower block to put in the middle of the 2 longer sides. And then I'm going to glue all that together. So I made 2 of these, and then I glued some geometric beads on one of them, and then I glued them together. And now I realized I needed another layer of these, so another layer of tower blocks. And now I am just gluing a layer of geometric beads all around the inside, and you do have to space them apart a little bit, but once everything is all stained you don't even notice that. I did it all with the holes facing up. So here's where I went wrong. I glued that extra layer on this and then it didn't fit in there. So luckily it was still wet and I could take it off, and now I am gluing that extra layer on here, and then I'm going to glue the other part on top. And now I'm making 2 sets of 3 tower blocks, and then 2 sets of 2, and then I'm going to glue all those together to make a rectangle. And I need this part to fit inside the top part, well, inside there, so I am just sanding it down, both pieces, until it can easily fit inside. Here's me sanding some more, because I make these things up as I go along, so you'd probably be better making this one, making this part, make sure it fits in there before you glue it all together. It didn't take long to sand down anyway. And then I realized I made 2 of these, but I needed one of them to have tower blocks in the middle. So I'm just this like 3 rows of 4 tower blocks in the middle of that to fill it up. And then I glued on the geometric beads, and then I glued the other part on the top. And now I am gluing a layer of tower blocks to make the geometric beads that are going to be in the middle higher. Oh, flush with the top of the tower blocks. Sorry, I'm extremely tired. I'm 6 months pregnant now, and I'm just so tired. I've been putting off this voiceover for a week because I've just been too tired to do it. So I'm just filling it in with the geometric beads like I did the last DIY. If you wanted to, you could put some scrapbook paper in here, or you could fill it up with something else. I don't know what, but use your imagination. You don't have to do the geometric beads. So now I'm gluing those two pieces together, the one that I had to sand down, and then I realized that I need to put some tower blocks in each corner, so that's what I'm doing just now. Just making sure they're the same height, and then I'm going to glue them in, and then the lid, it wasn't glued yet, the glue wasn't dry, and then that will sit on top of those tower blocks. So I'm just gluing some half beads on the bottom. And then I stained it with the special walnut wood stain. And this is how it turned out. And this is what it looks like with the lid off. And here it is with the tray that I made at the very start of the video, if you wanted to stack it up and make it 4 high. And then you have another compartment to put stuff in. And this is what it looks like with the 2 different compartments. And then this is what it looks like with the first DIY minus the second tray, and then the last DIY on top of it if you wanted to really go over the top. So let me know which one of these DIYs is your favorite. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next video. Bye!